Here are some signs your car is about to die. Do you love the car you drive? Or you're just happy you don't have car payments? Or is it a challenge to see how many miles you can get from your current ride? There comes a point when it makes a weird noise and you have to decide if you should continue to fix it or if it's time to ditch it. But how will you know when it's that time? We know that maintenance is a regular occurrence whether you're driving a new or an old car. However, you should pay attention when it picks up a new trait, which might be coughing smoke and you detect a new smell, or it starts making a clanking noise or squeaking. These could be a sign that your car is about to die. Be aware of the signs and take precautions before it leaves you helpless in the middle of the road. Just like human illness, a car always shows symptoms when facing a problem. What can be fixed, and when it's time to just say, it's been real, it's been fun, but it hasn't been real fun, here's what you need to know. But before we go further, I want to remind you to subscribe and click that little bell for notifications so you don't miss anything. We give you more than car reviews and first looks of new vehicles. We give you car smarts because knowledge is power. Let's start with the dashboard lights. All the lights on the dashboard are supposed to warn you when something is wrong. The more lights that turn on, the bigger the trouble you're in. So when the oil pressure or the check engine light starts flashing, drive to a repair shop immediately, especially if you see that ugly red check engine light. It's never a good sign. Transmission issues are expensive. So if you notice something weird during acceleration or braking or while you're driving, especially if you get jerking, shuddering, and it's accompanied by some unpleasant odors or maybe some grinding noises, it's likely time to look for a new vehicle or buy a new transmission. Some call it rust or car cancer, but it's a very expensive problem to fix, and it continues to get worse over time. So if you don't catch it when it first starts, the chemicals that cities are putting on the roads during the winter really eats away at the paint and the metal. That's also true for salt if you live near the ocean. Once rust starts, it spreads quickly. Water leaks also tend to do widespread damage in that water sits in hidden spots and causes corrosion. Both problems need to be looked at thoroughly to gauge how much damage has happened. And once you see those bubbles, the rust has begun. And like a cancer, it spreads quickly. So if you're proactive and fix the paint chip before it starts turning to rust, you can beat the rot. If you're having to refill any of your car's vital fluids like coolant, oil, brake fluid, power steering fluid, any of those fluids on a regular basis like every month, then it's only a question of when, not if, something will go wrong. If you have an oil leak, that is never good news because oil is the blood of the engine and it's what lubricates it and keeps it running. So immediate repair of any oil leaks is necessary, especially if you start seeing a puddle, it's only going to get bigger. However, if black fluid is coming out the tailpipe, it could mean that the engine is at its critical stage of its life. Besides engine oil, other moving parts require fluids to stay functional. The radiator, the transmission, power steering, brakes, rear end, and some other components need fluids. And you should be worried when you are filling these up on a regular basis. It's one of the signs that your car is about to die. Another tip, if you see blue smoke pouring from your tailpipe, that means you're burning oil. If it's white smoke, it means you're evaporating coolant. You can certainly keep adding either fluid to your engine to keep the wheels turning, but failing to do either will result in the smoke starting to billow under the hood, and then it's time for either an expensive fix or a new car. There may come a time when the engine starts making that knocking sound. And you know what that means. It means the camshaft is no longer in sync with the pistons, and the repair is going to be expensive. A practical alternative would be to save money and get a rebuilt motor, or maybe just a newer car. Before spending the big bucks on a big repair, ask yourself, what can I sell the car for while it's running? And can I combine the sales proceeds from that vehicle with the money I was going to spend on the repairs to buy something newer or something more reliable? If you can get $5,000 for your current car that's currently running, even though it needs repair, but the repair would cost $2,000, then you can spend $7,000 on a better vehicle. When you hit that 100,000 mile century marker, take stock of what you have, especially if you bought the car used. Sometimes a car will run to 175, 300,000 miles, and you've commented even longer for some of us that watch. So it's worth the investment. But if you buy a used car with a body that's starting to rust out, you can probably bet those complex components were also neglected as well. Lots of people professing to love the inanimate object that is their car, and I am one of those, continue to make payments or repairs they can't afford. That's why I'm telling you this, because sometimes you just have to cut the cord and sell the vehicle. I've had to do that myself, and I wanted to share these tips with you so that you can save money and have car smarts. If you like this video, give it a like and subscribe for more videos like this one. If you have any questions or comments, I'll be more than happy to answer. You can support me by buying me a cup of coffee. The link for that is in the description, plus all the links for the website, the social media, the book, and the podcast. I'm Lauren Fix. Thank you so much for watching.